You have been conditioned to broadcast your internal state like a distress beacon. Every time you share a fear, a weakness, or a trauma to bond with someone, you are not creating connection. You are handing over the encryption keys to your own mind. The modern obsession with vulnerability is nothing more than a surveillance program designed to keep you readable, predictable, and easily controlled by anyone who knows how to look. The protocol we are about to initialize comes from counterintelligence manuals used by deep-cover operatives in hostile environments. These agents must survive in rooms full of predators without ever revealing a single true emotion. This data was scrubbed from civilian psychology because a population that cannot be read is a population that cannot be marketed to, guilted, or governed. When you execute this code, your social output mechanically disconnects from your internal reality. You will create decoy vulnerabilities, fake emotional files that lure manipulators into traps. They will push buttons that are not connected to anything. While they think they are breaking you, you are silently harvesting their data. You become a void in a world of noise. But understand the cost. Once you encrypt your mind, true connection becomes a calculated risk. You will see every interaction as a potential breach. You will never again be the innocent victim. You will be the architect of the illusion. We are about to go dark. In cybersecurity, the easiest way into a system is usually not through the code. It is through the human guarding it. Hackers call it social engineering. Instead of breaking the firewall, they break the receptionist. They call pretending to be IT support, fake urgency, ask for a password, and the human gives them the keys. The systems are secure. The person is not. Chapter 1. How social engineers actually read you. The same thing happens psychologically. Some people are not trying to hack your bank account. They are trying to hack your attachment system, your guilt, your fear of being abandoned, your need to be liked. They do not attack your mind directly. They study it, slowly. A skilled manipulator builds a profile on you, the same way a hacker builds a profile on a target company. They do it through tiny, casual details. What do you complain about when you are tired? What do you brag about when you feel safe? What do you apologize for, even when it was not your fault? What makes you tense up in a conversation? They treat these small reactions as data points. Dark Triad research by Delroy Paulhus and Kevin Williams shows that high Machiavellian and psychopathic personalities are very good at this kind of information mining. They are patient. They listen for your emotional weak spots the way a predator listens for injured prey. You reveal more than you think in normal conversations. You say you hate conflict, and they learn that raising their voice can shut you down. You over-explain yourself, and they learn you fear being misunderstood, so they can later weaponize silence. You chase reassurance, and they learn that ignoring your messages will torture you. Every repeated emotional pattern becomes what in cybersecurity would be called an attack surface. It is any visible vulnerability that can be targeted. An overreaction, a desperate explanation, a nervous laugh when you should be firm. Each is a potential entry point for control. Attachment theory explains why these attack surfaces are so common. John Bowlby and Mary Ainsworth showed how early experiences with caregivers shape how a person bonds and reacts in close relationships. Anxiously attached people fear abandonment and rejection. That fear leaks into their behavior. They double text. They apologize for existing. They accept blame that is not theirs. They try to fix anger that is not theirs. To a healthy person, this might just look like insecurity. To a social engineer, it looks like a control panel with clearly labeled buttons. This is how it works in practice. A manipulative person will tell a slightly cruel joke at your expense. They watch your micro-reaction. Do your eyes drop? Do you laugh it off too fast? Do you try to win their approval by joking back at your own expense? They store that response. Next time, if they want to put you back in place, they know what kind of comment will trigger your shame. Or they will go silent for a while, and then return with a half-hearted excuse. If you reward them with warmth and relief, they learn that distance is a powerful tool on you. Now your fear of being left is not just an emotion. It is leverage. Most people think they are open, honest, and emotional, which they see as purely positive. In reality, they are broadcasting a live feed of their deepest insecurities to whoever is paying attention. They talk about their fear of being cheated on, their history of being used, their trauma with parents, in new relationships, and even casual friendships. They do this thinking it will create closeness. Sometimes it does, but it also hands a detailed guidebook to anyone who is inclined to use them. Studies on social engineering and influence, from researchers like Robert Cialdini and those in behavioral economics, show that influence is strongest when it is tailored to a target's specific fears and desires. The more data the manipulator has on you, the more surgical their control can become. The hard truth is that most people are not weak in the sense of being incapable. They are simply unencrypted. Their emotional life is in plain text. Their real fears are directly tied to obvious triggers, and their reactions are automatic and visible. You can see it in someone who becomes frantic when a message is left on read, or someone who crumbles at mild disapproval, or someone who rants for hours whenever they feel disrespected. These reactions might feel personal and justified from the inside, but from the outside, to a skilled user of people, they are just labeled doors. Think about how you act when you really want someone to like you. You overshare. You reveal intimate history too fast. You say that being ignored destroys you, or that cheating would break you, or that you cannot handle yelling. To you, this might feel like honest vulnerability. To a predator, it is a tutorial. They now know exactly which punishments will keep you obedient, ignore you to cause panic. Someone with strong boundaries, low emotional leakage, and slow disclosure is hard work. There is little to push on. The person who live streams their triggers in the first month is low-hanging fruit. When you understand this, you start to see standard social advice about being endlessly open and vulnerable for what it really is, a system that keeps you easy to manage. So the first shift is simple. Stop thinking of your emotional life as something that must always be fully visible to be real. Start treating it as data that can be stolen, tested, and used. Distance themselves to pull you back into line. Raise their voice just enough to shut you down. Threaten abandonment without ever saying it plainly. The danger is not that everyone around you is a psychopath. Most are not. But it only takes a few high-risk people in a lifetime to do real damage. And those people hunt for unencrypted targets. Realize that every time you show a raw nerve in front of someone who has not earned that level of access, you might be laying out an attack surface. This is not about becoming cold or fake. It is about accepting a fact dark triad research and social engineering studies keep repeating. Whoever controls information about your weaknesses controls you. The people who get hurt the worst are usually those who are emotionally honest in a world that is not built for that kind of honesty everywhere. You have just realized how exposed you are. 99% of people will ignore this warning and continue to be easy targets. You are still watching. That means you are ready to install the firewall. Signal your intent to encrypt your mind. Subscribe now. Let's write the code. Chapter 2. The Art of Being Psychologically Opaque. Emotional encryption starts from a simple rule. What you feel inside and what you display outside do not have to match in real time. They can when you choose, but they do not have to. Emotional regulation research by James Gross and surface acting research by Alicia Grande already show that people can feel one thing and show another. Customer service workers do it every day when they smile through irritation. The difference here is intention. Instead of faking emotions for a company or to keep others comfortable, you use this skill as armor. You decide what gets shown, when, and to whom. An emotionally encrypted person does not look robotic. They laugh, get annoyed, feel sad, tell stories. On the surface, they seem normal. The difference is that their visible reactions are not connected straight into their oldest wounds. They do not hand out real triggers to strangers. If they act bothered by something, it is usually by choice, not because someone stumbled onto a raw nerve. On the outside, they appear readable. On the inside, their deepest pain points are sealed. Most people around them only ever interact with the upper layer of their emotional system. This is where cognitive psychology comes in. Daniel Kahneman described two modes of thinking. System 1 is fast, automatic, emotional. System 2 is slower, deliberate, reflective. Most people live their social life in System 1. Someone makes a cutting comment, and anger jumps out before their mind even catches up. Someone fails to reply, and panic sends 5 messages in a row. Encryption starts when you train yourself to pause that first wave. You feel the spike of emotion, but you do not immediately act it out. You force yourself into System 2, even for a few seconds, and ask quietly, what does this reaction teach them about my weakness if I show it right now? This is the forbidden move. You are allowed to lie with your tells. The things people think are your clear signs of discomfort, fear, or insecurity do not have to reveal anything important. You can let your body language and your small complaints refer to decoy topics, mild pet peeves, low-stakes boundaries, safe areas. You can act like something irritates you a little just to create a visible button that does not connect to anything central in your life. Then, when someone tries to push your button, they are only touching the outer layer. There is an ethical line here. Encryption is about self-defense. It is about not handing weapons to people who have not proven they will not use them. This is different from predatory manipulation, where someone uses fake displays of emotion to control, exploit, or harm others for gain. Dark triad individuals already mask their feelings and present false selves to move people around like pieces. What you are doing here is closing the gap between you and them in terms of skill, but using it to reduce harm, not cause it. To live encrypted, you need 2 skills: inner honesty and outer control. Inner honesty means you do not lie to yourself about what you feel. If abandonment terrifies you, you face that in private, in therapy, in a journal, with someone truly safe. Outer control means you do not broadcast that terror to every semi-stranger who shows a bit of interest. You separate private processing from public performance. In public, you might seem slightly annoyed by lateness or messiness or certain jokes. These are true enough, but they are not your core. At first, this will feel fake. That is because you have been trained to believe that authenticity means full exposure. But authenticity is not about maximal disclosure. It is about what you choose to be real with and where. Emotional encryption says, be fully real in safe places and strategically limited everywhere else. This is how people in high-stakes roles operate all the time. Interrogators, negotiators, intelligence officers, surgeons. They are not less human. They are more controlled. The important part is this: you are not trying to look emotionless. That draws its own kind of attention. You simply become harder to read at the level that matters. People see that you have feelings, but not which levers run your life. They might know you get slightly irritated, but not that you fear being abandoned. They might know you prefer direct communication, but not that you secretly panic when someone is distant. To most people, you are just emotionally balanced. To a social engineer, you are frustrating. There is no obvious access point, no clear control panel to plug into. When you understand emotional encryption, you stop playing defense in the open. You stop reacting in ways that give your power away. Instead, you respond. Slow, measured, and chosen. The outside world sees a normal emotional range. The real story runs privately, encrypted, where only the people who have earned deep access are allowed to read it. Chapter 3. The Honeypot. You can do the same thing with your emotional life. You can set up decoy vulnerabilities that look real, feel real, but cost you almost nothing. Here is how it works in a social context. You pick a mild annoyance that does not touch your deepest fears. For example, lateness. In truth, it might irritate you a bit, but it does not cut deep. You casually confess that you really cannot stand when people are late, and you act a little extra bothered the next time it happens. In cybersecurity, a honeypot is a fake target. It looks like a database full of valuable information, but it is bait. Hackers see it, attack it, And while they are busy, the system watches them. Every move they make is logged. Their methods, their entry points, their IP. The attacker thinks they have found something sensitive. In reality, they have stepped into a monitored trap. You sigh, you mention it. Your mood shifts a bit. It looks like a button. Now you watch. The people around you have been given what they think is a map to one of your triggers. What they do next tells you exactly who they are. This is not new in concept. Irving Goffman talked about self-presentation, the idea that people manage how they appear to others. Mark Leary wrote about impression management, how people shape what others think of them. Most people use these tools to show strengths. They highlight their kindness, their success, their humor. Almost no one consciously manages how their weaknesses appear. They let that part be raw and unedited. The Honeypot flips this. You intentionally design your visible weaknesses the same way you design your visible strengths. A good decoy vulnerability has a structure. It is low stakes for you. If someone pushes it, you may get slightly annoyed, but you will not feel shattered or controlled. It is believable, meaning it fits your personality and history, so it does not look fake. It is observable, meaning people can actually test it through normal behavior like teasing, timing, or small boundary pushes, and it is expressive enough that when it is touched, you show a mild reaction that looks natural. You want people to think they have discovered something about you. For example, you might act especially sensitive about people interrupting you. You let yourself look a bit flustered or cut off when it happens. Or you act like you have a thing about people leaving dishes in the sink, or about someone not texting back within a few hours. These are small daily situations that can be used as stage props. None of them should be tied to your real core trauma. They are just surface-level irritations that you are willing to act out more strongly around. The real power of a honeypot is that it reverses the normal trust sequence. Usually, people get access to your real vulnerabilities slowly as they earn your trust. But in reality, many people learn them quickly, because you show them too fast. With a honeypot, early access is to fakes only. Before someone ever sees what actually hurts you, they will have had the chance to show what they do with what looks like an emotional weakness. If they respect it, back off, or adjust, that is one signal. If they poke at it, laugh at it, or test it, that is another. You are collecting behavioral evidence before giving away emotional power. A honeypot is a fake control panel. If someone cannot resist pressing fake buttons that they think hurt you, they are not safe enough to be trusted with real ones. You no longer have to guess who might turn your vulnerabilities into weapons. They self-identify. The culture teaches you to treat your vulnerabilities as sacred, but also to show them early to prove authenticity. That mix is dangerous. Psychologically, you are creating a controlled experiment. You are not waiting passively to see if someone will discover and exploit your real wounds. You are giving them something safe to discover and watching what they do. If a person hears you dislike lateness and then starts jokingly being later and later just to see your reaction, they have told you something about their character. If they hear that you get irritated at a certain type of teasing and then start using that exact style more aggressively, they have revealed their interest in control. None of this is about paranoia. It is about data. The honeypot gives you a third option. You can look authentic, share stories, show irritation and sensitivity, while keeping your deepest triggers offline. People around you feel like they know where your sensitive areas are. In truth, they are interacting with decoys. Anyone who tries to use those decoys against you exposes themselves, not you. Chapter 4. The Test. Catching social engineers in real time. Once you set a honeypot, the next step is the test. You have given people a supposed vulnerability. Now you watch quietly how they behave around it. This is not about setting traps for good people. It is about giving potential manipulators a chance to reveal their intentions early. Under low stakes, they always test boundaries anyway. You are just choosing the arena where those tests happen. Here is how the test looks. You have mentioned that you really hate when people are late. You acted slightly more upset than you truly are when it happened once. Now you wait. Does this person make a clear effort to be on time next time? Do they apologize properly when they slip? Or do they start arriving a little later each time with bad excuses and a smirk? Do they watch your face when they walk in late, as if they are waiting for the reaction? In that moment, they are not just being disorganized, they are running a behavioral experiment on you. How far can I push this, and how will you respond? Research on behavioral confirmation and boundary testing in relationships shows that people often push against small limits to see how compliant, reactive, or forgiving the other person is. Manipulators go further with this. They intentionally create minor violations to gather data. If you said teasing about your appearance bothers you, they might joke about your weight, your hair, your clothes. They keep circling back to the same subject you told them was uncomfortable. Another sign is escalation. They test something small, see you flinch, and then intensify the same theme. Especially telling is when they watch your face closely after doing it, like they are studying the impact. That is data collection, not carelessness. This matches what research on narcissism and psychopathy has found. Robert Hare and others who study psychopathy describe these individuals as having reduced empathy and high instrumental use of others. Then they will say, "Relax, it is just a joke," while staring at your reaction. If you look pained but laugh it off, they learn that you will swallow disrespect to avoid conflict. Now they know how to talk to you when they want power. There are clear red flags in how people respond to your supposed vulnerabilities. Repeated forgetfulness about your stated annoyance is one. They say they forgot you hate lateness, but somehow they only forget when it is convenient for them. Pushing the same button over and over, in different ways, is another. To them, people are tools, not equals. They often engage in small acts of cruelty or boundary crossing to see who will submit. If pushing your supposed button gives them a sense of control or amusement, they will do it again. They are not joking. They are mapping. Your response during the test is important. You do not suddenly drop the act and expose that it was a decoy. You respond in line with the honeypot. If the setup was that lateness irritates you, you show mild annoyance. A sigh, a remark, a brief coolness. This keeps the trap active. At the same time, inside your head, you are making a quiet note. This person heard what bothers me and decided to press on it for fun or leverage. That is not someone to give deeper access to. Notice what you are not doing. You are not confronting them with dramatic speeches. You are not trying to teach them empathy. You are not opening up more, hoping that if they see your true pain, they will treat you better. That is what vulnerable people do when they have been trained to think that more openness always heals. You are doing the opposite. You are observing, reducing access, and letting their pattern reveal itself without feeding it. Over time, this test creates a clear split in your social world. Healthy people pass quietly. They may forget sometimes, but they apologize and adjust when reminded. They do not get pleasure from watching you upset, even if it is about something small. Manipulative people fail loudly. They keep nudging the same sore spot, then blame you for reacting. They use phrases like, "You are too sensitive," or "It is just a joke," while they are actually checking how much disrespect you will tolerate. By the time a social engineer has finished playing with your honeypot, you already know what they are. Chapter 5. Keeping your real insecurities offline. And you learned all of this without ever showing them your real, life-destroying triggers. They never saw how you react to actual abandonment, real betrayal, or deep humiliation. They wasted their energy on fake controls while exposing their testing habits in high definition. That information is power. You can now decide how far into your life they are allowed to come. Usually the answer is not far. To keep your real insecurities offline means they never appear directly in everyday social code. Your deepest fears are not turned into content. They are not turned into casual jokes. They are not dropped into early conversations with people who have not proved anything yet. These fears might include being abandoned, being humiliated, being controlled, being cheated on, or being exposed as not good enough. When these are online, they are linked to clear triggers. When they are offline, They are locked away from casual view, even if you are feeling them inside. Research on rejection sensitivity by Geraldine Downey shows that people who expect to be rejected are constantly scanning for signs of it. They read neutral actions as hostile. They ask for reassurance again and again. They may start conversations with self-attacks, like "you probably think I am annoying," or "you are going to leave like everyone else." These patterns make them easy to manipulate. All a social engineer has to do is threaten distance, act cold, or withhold approval, and the rejection-sensitive person will chase them, change themselves, and tolerate bad behavior just to stop the pain. Keeping your real insecurities offline means you refuse to give people those scripts. Keeping your real insecurities offline means you refuse to give people those scripts. You do not tell a new partner that being ignored destroys you. You do not tell a new friend that if someone yells, you shut down completely. You might acknowledge these things in therapy or in very long-term, proven relationships, but you do not narrate them to anyone who has not shown consistent respect and care over time. Instead, you use neutral or light language when talking about sensitive topics. You say, "I prefer clear communication," instead of "I have an abandonment wound that explodes when someone goes silent." Concrete encryption behaviors help with this. Neutralizing language is one. When something hits close to your core fear, you intentionally describe it in softer terms. "It annoyed me" instead of "it broke me." "It bothered me" instead of "I could not function." This does not erase what you feel inside, but it stops others from learning that this is the exact way to crush you. Delayed reactions are another tool. When someone does something that hurts you deeply, you delay your visible reaction. You take time alone to feel, think, and decide how to respond. You do not explode or beg in front of them. You act later with boundaries, not raw panic. Changing the topic is another encryption tactic. When a conversation gets too close to your core wounds with someone who has not earned that access, you gently steer it away. They ask about your most painful breakup, and you give a short, generic answer and then move on. They press for details about your childhood trauma, and you say you would rather not get into it right now. You do not feel obliged to bleed on command just because someone shows curiosity. Curiosity is not the same as safety. Emotional regulation strategies support this wall. Cognitive reappraisal means you mentally reframe an insult or cold behavior so it does not pierce you as deeply. For example, instead of thinking "they ignored me because I am worthless," you frame it as "they ignored me because of their own patterns, and I will decide how much I tolerate this." Response delay means you count, breathe, or step away before speaking. Controlled facial expression means you train your face not to show full devastation when someone hits on something close to your fears. When someone takes too long to reply, person B does not send 10 follow-ups. They decide quietly what that behavior means and adjust contact or walk away. To a manipulator, person A is a perfect target. The control method is clear. Ignore them to make them chase, then come back when they are desperate. Person B is much harder to play. There is no easy script. Offline does not mean you never share. You can look firm, bored, or mildly affected instead of shattered. Compare two people. Person A says on the second date, "If someone ignores my messages, I lose it. I cannot handle being ignored. It destroys me because of my past." Person B, with the same history, says nothing about this. They notice response times, yes, but they treat the topic as a blank wall in public. It means you share at the right time, with the right people, for the right reason. You talk about your deepest wounds where there is evidence of care, not just chemistry. You process them with professionals and truly safe connections, not with whoever offers temporary attention. You stop seeing raw exposure as bravery and start seeing selective exposure as strategy. This is how you stop handing out emotional weapons to strangers. Chapter 6: Living as an Encrypted Mind. The method is simple. You create believable, low-stakes decoy vulnerabilities, your honeypots. You let people think they have found your buttons. You then watch who presses them, who respects them, and who pretends they do not exist. That is the test. While this is happening, Your real fears, the ones that can actually break you, stay offline. They are never clearly named, never easily triggered in public, never given to people who have not earned years of trust. The result is an asymmetry of information. People think they have you figured out. In reality, you are the one reading them. Influence research, like Kyle Deeney's work, shows that standard tactics rely on predictable emotional responses. Guilt trips work on people who hate feeling selfish. Scarcity works on people who fear missing out. Obligation works on those who cannot tolerate disappointing others. When your real buttons are hidden, those tactics misfire. Someone tries to guilt you, and you feel nothing but mild irritation. Someone withholds attention to control you, and you quietly move them to the outer circle of your life. You are not immune to emotion. You are just no longer broadcasting the right coordinates. Your social world begins to shift. Manipulators tend to get bored with people they cannot control. If they cannot find a reliable way to make you chase, apologize, or collapse, they move on to easier targets. They might even describe you as distant or hard to get close to, not because you truly are, but because you are not handing them levers. Meanwhile, healthy people respond differently. They notice that you have boundaries. They see that you are not overreactive. They respect when you say no. They do not get a thrill from testing your supposed weaknesses, so the honeypots never tempt them. Living encrypted is not free. It costs self-awareness and discipline. You have to pay attention to your own patterns, notice where you usually overshare, and stop yourself. You need to build private spaces where you can be fully honest, so that you do not explode from holding everything in. You will sometimes feel the pull to confess everything to someone too soon, because it feels bonding. You will have to resist and remember that some people only bond with your pain so they can own it later. The alternative cost, however, is worse. Research on emotional abuse and coercive control shows how unguarded vulnerabilities become weapons over months and years. The fear of being alone is used to keep someone in a toxic relationship. The fear of conflict is used to shut someone up. The fear of shame is used to keep secrets that should be exposed. People lose years of life this way. They are not weak. They were just honest in front of predators. Living as an encrypted mind is not about never trusting. It is about earning trust in both directions. People do not get access to your emotional operating system just because they made you feel something in the first few weeks. They pass through your honeypots first. They show how they handle apparent weaknesses. If they pass, maybe they get a little more of the real you. If they fail, they get distance. But it does not fix your weakness. You are still operating on a moral code written by your masters. The system taught you to keep your head down and just be yourself. Why? Because a population that waits for permission is a population that never takes power. You have secured the perimeter. Now you must burn the rulebook. No drama, no revenge, just less access. The core rule of dark self-protection is simple. People cannot push your buttons if they never find the control panel. And if they do find one, it should be because you built it for them, out of cheap parts, in a monitored room, where the only thing that gets exposed is who they really are. Encryption protects your secrets. I have identified the 8 most dangerous lies that pass for wisdom in this culture. We are going to dismantle them one by one. Click here. Stop apologizing for your strength.